Alright guys, and welcome back to the Saints FIFA instant match reaction following Burnley 1, Southampton 1. A 94th minute penalty secures a point for the hosts after what was probably a pretty even game. Southampton took the lead in the second half with a really good Redmond strike, but unfortunately we didn't have enough to hold on to take 3 points from the game. And I think it's a frustrating one, definitely, because we were so close to a really important 3 points, but I also think that people forget that they probably would have taken a point. I think the majority of our fans would have taken a point pre-game anyway, given, first of all, we don't tend to do too well up at Turf Moor, and two, Burnley are only in good form, they're a solid side, and, I think we played well enough today against them. But before we really get into the analysis, fair play to everyone who went up to Burnley today, especially with all this snow. I hope you've been enjoying it, but to make that long trip in a day, back and forth, when it's like this with the weather, hats off, all my respect. But to start, I think we went into the game pretty confident. Okay, we didn't play too well on Wednesday night against Palace. There were two changes from that team, with Højbjerg having a head injury and Valerie being dropped for not really too sure why. It was McCarthy in goal with Ward-Prowse, what that looked to be at right wing back, Vestergaard, Stevens, Bednarek and Target. We also had Romeu and Armstrong in there, and then Slattery made his first Premier League start and had a pretty solid game in my opinion, made some really good tackles, as well as Redmond and Ings up front. And it was that man Ings who had the first chance, but his shot was well saved by Tom Heaton after he was put in 1-on-1, but that was pretty much the end of his afternoon as he was taken off injured with a knock. Hopefully he's okay for next Saturday's game against Cardiff. And then from there we sort of kept most of the ball, but as the half went on, Burnley got into it a bit more, and I think we were pretty relieved to go into half-time at 0-0. But then we came back out really raring to go and scored a fantastic goal through Redmond, and he's on fire at the moment as well. 6 goals in his last 10 games. Hasenhüttl has absolutely changed his mindset in front of goal. I don't know what he's done, but it's clearly worked, whatever that is. But I think from then it was pretty much game over. We were going to hold on to that 1-0 lead, especially with the substitutions that we made. Burnley kept pressuring us, and in the end, obviously, they eventually got the point. They brought on Brady, they brought on their new signing Crouch, who obviously brings physicality, and it was Crouch who won the penalty after Stevens seemed to handball. I think it's a penalty, but fans will absolutely crucify Stevens for that. I'm finding it hard to feel remorseful regarding the result, only because I still think a point is a really good result. People will disagree, like, oh, we were so close to a win, but everyone would have taken a point pre-game, and they were always going to give us some trouble towards the end. And unfortunately, that's how it's come, by a penalty, very late on as well. But at the end of the day, we didn't lose the game. I know that's a really bad mindset, but I think that's just how it has to be right now. The only thing we need to focus on this season is staying up, and I think fans are forgetting how not close we are, because we're still quite far away from any danger. It looks like Huddersfield and Fulham are pretty much guaranteed to go down, and we'll just see who that last team is. Probably Cardiff, in my opinion. Yeah, people think we're now going to push on for 10th, and I'm just like, I think if we finish higher than 15th after the start we had, that'd be a bloody miracle, given just... And, well, honestly, I think we'll finish higher than 15th. My prediction is 13th right now, given how things are playing out. But maybe not making any signings in the transfer window may affect that. I don't think it will, but we'll see. But for me, I've got no expectation for the rest of the season besides survival, which kind of makes it enjoyable, because now I think that's been achieved. Not like guaranteed, obviously, but we know if we keep playing this way, if we keep some sort of consistency, we'll be fine. But that is it for our match reaction. Sorry it's a short video, but there wasn't really too much to talk about. It was a typical Burnley Southampton game, not too much to talk about, just like that one and the first game of the season, that 0-0. But thank you very much for the recent support. As you can see, that number, and it's gone off. As you can see, that number behind me has gone up quite a lot since the last time, well, you probably looked at it. 209 subscribers, we surpassed 200 this week, and Now we're just looking to get 300. It's just natural stepping stones, little milestones each time, and I think the big goal by the end of the year is to hit 1,000. It's very doable the way we're looking, so all we need you to do is press that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet already, because we appreciate the views, but obviously we want that to reflect into subscribers as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Like I've just said, please do subscribe if you haven't yet already. Give us your comments on the game below. What did you think? Did you think it was a penalty? Did you think it was a fair result? Do you think we really should have held on to win? Well, we should have held on to win, but that, you know what I mean. And we will see you very soon.